After the ceremony, I headed to the bedchamber and waited for my new husband, the Duke, to arrive. I was a married woman. I was frightened of my wedding night. I didn't know what he would think. My nerves were shot, and I was so tired. I would just wanted it all to be over. I didn't know what my father had told him, and I really hoped he wasn't looking for a virginal wife. That turned out to be the least of my worries. When he finally arrived, he laughed in my face. He told me not to be nervous because he had no plan to consummate this marriage. In fact, he planned to never consummate. This way he could discard me when he grew tired of me, and he could simply get an annulment. He only did this as a favor to the king and to my father, and that he didn't want me. He wanted to go back to his country, but the king had forced him to come here. There was no way he wanted me at all. No, he wanted me as a prize in a sick game. I was a toy for his cruelty. Then he turned into a beast. His eyes glowed red, and he bit me. He struck me down. "You are food," he told me. "Nothing but cattle. I'll take what I want, when I want, and no one will stop me. This is your new life, little girl. You are a pet and belong in a cage until I am hungry. But for now, I will taste my prize. You're lucky I don't mind the blood of spoiled goods. And when I am done with you, I will throw your body in a shallow grave. And then I will go find your parents. And I will take from them the waste that they gave me. And let's hope the king doesn't assign your brother anywhere I can find him. So you will do what you're told, or I will find them all. And then you will join the grave with your brother. And you can live together forever. Do what I say, little girl. This is your only warning. You will let me take your blood anytime I want. And now, you're going to go to your cage, because you will not step foot in this room again." Weeks went by, and no one came to save me. Food was brought to me sparingly, only when necessary. The Duke came by almost every night to feed and laugh at me about all the balls he was attending and the pretty mistresses he had. I only prayed that one of them killed him. He said he told people I was sickly, that I couldn't come out of my room, and I really shouldn't have visitors because it might be contagious. I was too weak to go anywhere. People believed him. They always believe royalty. Why would they think any different? I was a common village girl. He told me that no one cared, not even my brother. He said he hadn't heard from Caleb or even seen him, and that Caleb had no interest in how I was doing. My parents stopped asking about me too, but that was no surprise. I went numbly through my days. I gave up on crying. There was no point. I only prayed for death. I hoped to starve to death or just have something happen to me. I just had enough. Occasionally, he would give me some of his blood just to keep me alive because it would heal me and keep me going. But I no longer cared. I was dying. My body and soul were giving up. What he didn't dare tell me is that my brother Caleb had come every day. He had left our parents' home and disowned them. Every day he came and pounded on the doors to be let in. He was scared for me, and he was determined to see if I was alive. He told me later he was turned away so many times. The king had thrown him out of the army and almost had him executed. Finally, one day, Rodrigo let Caleb in. He grabbed him and attacked. After almost draining him, he told him, "If you want your sister, I'll take you to the slut." He then threw him in with me, and I stayed by his side as he healed. When he woke up, he swore to get us out, but something had cracked in me. The demon had come, and I felt so much stronger. My humanity snapped. Caleb was confused what was wrong with me. No one was going to hurt us anymore. I was determined. Finally, I had clarity what I would do next, and I knew Caleb would forgive me someday. But right now, I just wanted my freedom. So I grabbed my darling brother, and I took his blood. I told him it was our only way out. I told him he'd forgive me one day, and told him how much stronger he was going to be. We would break free together. He fought me, but in the end I drained him to near death. I knew that the blood Rodrigo had been giving me was the power I needed to turn Caleb into what I was. So I gave him my blood. Soon he was drinking like a newborn, and I started planning our escape. I knew we would be strong enough now to break out of that door that he locked me in, and the two of us together could easily take out Rodrigo. And whether Caleb knew it or not, our next stop would be our parents. They have earned this. It will not be a good death. So when darkness fell, we kicked down that door. Rodrigo wasn't home right away, so we waited. When he got home, I broke a chair to break off a nice big steak. Many of the myths and legends were true, so I thought I would give it a try. Like most bullies, Rodrigo was all talk. He had never lived a hard day in his life, never had to fight, so it wasn't hard to drive that stake right through his heart. My pain had made me strong. I wasn't going to be abused or broken anymore. Everything was taken from me, but I had a new freedom. The beast gave me a new fury, a need for revenge. Caleb was newly born, that he felt the thirst, the fury. He hadn't controlled the beast yet, so he followed me blindly as we left the castle. I told Caleb what I was going to do. Our parents had to pay for what they did to me, to my love, to my baby. Without hesitation, Caleb stormed into the house and found Mother in the courtyard. Still starving, he attacked her and took her life from her. "That's for always being an obedient mouse," he said. "Always doing what you're told." I stalked to the back and found my father by the pond. He told me I was a demon, to be gone from his sight or he'd run his sword through me. The same sword that had killed my love. He said I was no daughter of his. I screamed at him to look at me. Because of him, Caleb had become a monster too. Didn't he care his precious boy was now a demon? He laughed in my face. Said if it was God's will, so be it. I had had enough. My father was pure evil. He was the monster, not me. How could our pain make him laugh? Enough. So fast my father couldn't raise his sword, I grabbed him and put my hand through his chest, tearing his beating heart out. Watching his laugh die in his lips was so satisfying. Caleb and I embraced over father's dead body, knowing we were finally free. Free to live our lives, even if it came with its own new set of cages. No one would ever separate or hurt us again. So as you can see, I wasn't all bad. I started out so hopeful and happy. All the pain and sorrow led me to the monster I am today. Caleb has always held my hand, always been my moral compass, and been there with me, as I have calmed his guilt when he's been forced to kill to survive. My brain is never really quiet, and I try to be good. I really do. I hope you have learned from my story and have a support system yourself that you can count on in your bad days like I do. If you live in these kind of situations, get yourself out before you're driven as mad as I am. Thank you for your time, and be kind to one another. We never know what other people's stories are and what they're struggling from. Just remember that. Thank you for listening.